Hello and welcome to the Man Games. This is the podcast show. It is the Man
And the wife.
podcast. Today we're reviewing AEW Full Gear, which happened last night. Okay, I was waiting for the wife to say something, but she. Okay. So it starts off with a very good video package to start the show.
Oh, did you? It's funny that you say that because I've actually don't want to compare AEW and WWE, but WWE do better video packages.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, they probably do, but I still enjoyed this video package.
Yeah, true.
Obviously WWE's got a bigger team to do theirs.
Yeah. Bigger promotion team.
Yeah. So, Impact Wrestling's Don Callis was on commentary for this first match.
What do you think to that?
Well, I think if they were on good terms with like Impact Wrestling, doing a talent exchange would be more beneficial to AEW's women's division.
Yeah.
The wife clearly not put her phone on silent for this.
Sorry,
it's a good start, innit? You don't like say anything at the intro, and then your phone goes off.
Okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready to talk. Phone's on silent. Overall, then the show. What did you think to it?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. Even I wasn't really I wasn't bothered about the women's title match, but towards the end, I kind of even got into that. To be fair, so yeah, I don't think there was a bad match on the show.
No, I agree. I think it was a really good show. Some great matches on there.
Yeah. One thing I did notice in this pay-per-view, they actually did change the set slightly for this pay-per-view, whereas the other AEW pay-per-views they've done at Daly's Place, they've just kept the same set as like for a Dynamite, whereas this one they actually, made an effort and put some like gear changing stuff on the set. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't notice. Although the only time I did notice it was in one of the matches, which we'll come to.
Yeah.
But they made it very obvious because they used it as a prop.
Yeah. So like I just said, it was at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. That is where all the AEW's events are getting taped at the moment while they're in lockdown. There was 1,000 fans in attendance because that is the maximum you can have in attendance for sporting events in the US or in Florida at least.
Yeah.
So the first match was Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page. Winner is the new number one contender for the AEW Championship. So this was the Eliminator tournament. So Kenny has beaten Sonny Kiss and Pentagon Jr., whereas Hangman and Page has beaten Waller and Colt Cabana. So Kenny Omega's been saying that Hangman and Page is only a tag team wrestler, whereas Kenny is a single star. But I don't know if you realise that in the tournament, Kenny faced 2 tag team wrestlers in the single matches, whereas Page beat 2 singles wrestlers.
No, I did not see that. Oh, the little details. They're in there, aren't they?
Yeah, they sure are with Page and Omega.
Yeah. So I was actually really surprised that this was the first match.
Yeah, well, now we saw the finish. Obviously, we'll get to it later on. But I kind of wanted MJF and Jericho to start the show. Personally.
Yeah. But although surprised to see this match, starting the show, I do think it was actually a good decision now.
Looking back now, and the finish to Jericho's.
Yeah,
match,
the way they structured
that couldn't have opened the show. I don't think.
Yeah, I think the way they structured the whole entire show, it actually all made sense. It kind of really did flow.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think they did a really good job of that.
So going into the match, sorry, my notes keep on my phone, keep on flicking to the bottom.
Well, I'll go to one of mine then. I got Kenny jumps onto the barricade and does a moonsault from it. That was absolutely ace.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Really good. Enjoyed watching that.
Hangman and Page hits a nice clothesline off the apron, sending Omega to the floor.
Yeah. Kenny does his dive, that big dive off the...
Yeah, I'm not sure what they call that, but
no.
it looks really good.
I'm sure they said it was a Japanese thing or something.
Yeah, well, most of Kenny's moves are Japanese based.
And commentary are really promoting the new AEW announcement that's coming out on Tuesday on YouTube, saying it's close to Omega's heart and stuff like that.
Yeah, the AEW Games announcement.
Yeah, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's also a really good Page does a pop-up powerbomb on the ramp, and then he does another one in the ring.
Yeah.
Commentary are putting over that these two were tag team champions for over 200 days.
And do you know what? You can tell, like, the chemistry they have in the ring is just fantastic. I mean, how long did this match go for?
16 minutes, 25 seconds.
And, like, I'm somebody who loses interest in matches quite quickly sometimes. If I'm, if it's just not working for me, and not one point did I lose interest in this match. I think it's the chemistry between these two people.
Yeah, Kenny hits her in like a spike. I'm not sure what the move is called.
No, I don't know what it was. I put it looked like almost like a backwards sort of tombstone or something, but that was mint.
Yeah.
A Snapdragon by Omega, and then Page reverses it with a clothesline into a Deadeye, and then Kenny kicks out at 2.
Yeah, I honestly thought this was like, I did think Kenny Omega was going to win, but I did actually think this was
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
there's just so much going on, wasn't there? Like,
there was so much going on. It was really hard to take notes.
These last few bits of the match, there was so much going on that you just could, like,
Yeah,
I wanted to enjoy it and not take notes almost. Do you know what I mean? But going to the end of the match, then Kenny won with a one-winged angel.
Yeah, there was another time as well after the after Kenny had kicked out Page. I can't remember what the actual move was, but then he pins him again, and I thought again. No, he rolls him. I think he rolls him up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He rolls him up, and I thought that was going to be free again, which I honestly thought Kenny was winning all the time, but twice in the match I thought no,
they
Page
had you
is
there,
winning.
yeah. So I thought it was an absolutely fantastic match. Great way to open the show. I really thought it was going to be longer, but it's left you wanting more. So the storyline is obviously going to continue going. I think the way that they've structured this match and the short.
Yeah, they've definitely held back.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait to see these two fight again.
I was so pumped for the main event for this show. Like, my next note is I just want the main event now. Like, I can't remember the last time I was more excited for a main event for a pay-per-view.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I was really looking forward to Becky Lynch main event in WrestleMania 35, but then when Charlotte got involved, it kind of took it away from me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly a massive Eddie Kingston fan. I only just, like, recently, when he showed up on Dynamite, I didn't really even know who he was, but ever since then, like,
yeah, I'm the same. That first week we saw him come on, just loved what he was doing and everything he's done so far. I think it's hard to get for us being in the UK, getting into the indies. In America, obviously it's harder for us to watch it and to find out. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Kingston was on Impact Wrestling, but this is when I'd stopped watching it.
Yeah.
I believe he was with Proud and Powerful with, like, the new LAX, and he teamed with Homicide to be part of, like, the old LAX, even though it was Hernandez, not Eddie Kingston, I think. But now moving on to the next match, it was John Silver, part of the Dark Order, against Orange Cassidy.
I liked when John Silver and Orange Cassidy were in the ring, and the ref takes off Orange Cassidy's sunglasses. Yeah. Like, he's so lazy, he won't even take off his own glasses. Thought that was really good. Good spot there.
I kind of think that overusing Orange Cassidy a little bit, personally.
Okay, why?
I don't know. I just, like, he's had 2 TNT title matches with Cody on Dynamite. I don't really know if that was necessary. I don't know. I kind of feel like less is kind of more with Orange Cassidy. He's had a lot of, it's hard to get over the lazy gimmick when he's on it, having so many matches.
Yeah, that's a fair play. I can see what you mean there. Fair enough. So obviously, beginning of the match, and Cassidy starts wrestling with his hands in his pockets. He does a roll into a drop kick, which I really enjoy watching Cassidy wrestle with his hands in his pockets. I think it's a really unique thing to do, and must be quite hard, quite good talent.
Oh yeah.
And then I do enjoy that Silver then rips out the pocket so that Orange Cassidy can't do that.
That was good. Yeah.
It was literally like
John Silver's facial expressions in this match are really good as well.
Yeah. It was almost like an angry mum or something, or a teacher, like, confiscating something off the naughty teenager. Do you know what I mean?
So this match was originally meant to be on the buy-in, or the pre-show, as you would normally call it.
Oh, right, okay.
I did really enjoy this match, but I kind of feel like it would have been better on the buy-in, just because the buy-in then changed to Serena Deeb defending her NWA Women's Championship. So if you watch that, it's going to be a bit confusing for a new fan. Why is the NWA Women's Championship on an AEW pay-per-view?
That's a fair point.
I think if you left this on the buy-in, it would intrigue more people to buy the pay-per-view than, why is another company's title going to intrigue you to want to watch something on AEW?
Yeah.
I didn't really get that.
Okay. I didn't know that it was supposed to be on the buy-in, so. Orange Cassidy gets a crossbody from the top rope into a DDT. Really enjoyed that. There wasn't a lot I've got of notes of this match. Have you?
I have a few notes. I did think John Silver looked really good in this match. I think it's allowed him to show more what he in-ring action he can do instead of just the comedic stuff he does, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
Did a nice spin through her. Silver did onto Cassidy, but then Cassidy hits his finish and wins.
Yeah, that's it really. And then the best friends come down to celebrate with Cassidy in the ring.
Yeah, hug in the ring, giving the people what they want.
Yes.
So before we get to the next match, just like to say, if this is the first time listening to the Man and the Wife podcast, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the other content out on the channel. There are WWE 2K20 videos of me creating these matches on the channel. So if you're into that kind of thing, check that out. So next on the show, it was a recap of the dog collar match.
Yes.
What a match that was between Cody and Brody Lee. The only, apart from Brody Lee losing the title, he's not been on TV since, which is a bit of a shame, I do think. But obviously, they might be selling the loss, that's why they're doing it. But
you're a big fan of Brody Lee, aren't you?
Yeah. So.
But it was a good match, and I like that they sort of tied that then into the next storyline sort of thing with Darby Allin.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to see Brody Lee match free before Cody dropped the belt to someone.
Okay.
I think they could they could have got one more match out of it, maybe a last man standing match or something. But AEW don't really do
traditional.
No, I'm not saying there's a right way or wrong way to do it, but in WWE, if someone's feuding for a belt, they might have maybe 4 or so matches, and it can get a bit boring, really. A bit not that it's gone boring, but Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, Drew beat him twice, and then Orton won him, and now Drew wants it back. So it's getting a bit still. Maybe that's why they try to add the Fiend into their feud on there. But in AEW, Jon Moxley's been the champion, and he had one match with Hager. He's had one match with Lance Archer, one match with Brody Lee. I think Eddie Kingston's the only person that's had a follow-up match.
See, I quite like that. I get sick of seeing people wrestle the same people over and over again, unless there's if it does go with the storyline, like I was saying with Kenny Omega and
as long as it makes sense.
But
because you can have a one and done. I'm not saying you can't, but it would be nice to see. It doesn't have to be on every pay-per-view neither. I'm not saying I think it is a good thing that all AEW pay-per-views, there's not been one pay-per-view I don't think that's had the same main event or same match really.
Yeah.
Maybe apart from obviously Darby Allin and Cody, which is the next match obviously. So
Darby Allin arrives standing on a car.
Yeah. So it's meant to be a bit of a weird entrance, but then he's smashing his windscreen with his skateboard. I mean, what was the point in that?
Well, it wasn't exactly he's arriving on a Rolls Royce, was it?
No, I just thought, well, it's your cat, mate. Why would you do that?
Insurance purposes, who knows?
Who knows?
Then Cody comes
Does
out.
he look like the kind of guy that's got insurance?
Don't you have to have insurance?
Do I have insurance?
Yeah, you have car insurance.
Oh, car insurance. I thought you meant life insurance.
No, car insurance. But yes, you also have life insurance. So then Cody comes out with the Nightmare Family.
Yeah, I always like Cody's entrance. I feel like it's always got a big match feel, with everyone coming down to the ring with him and things like a posse or something.
Yeah.
I don't understand why more like wrestlers don't do that really.
Did I?
Like Eddie, like I know the main event was like Eddie Kingston was coming to the ring because he's standing by himself, but like he could he could have had Butcher and the Blade and Pentagon and Ray Phoenix come down with him, but and then like leave. Do you know what I mean? Like like more was like a big fight feel maybe.
Hey ho. I think I've got one of my notes is like Darby's like an elastic band. Like he's just, and he reminds me like Sonic the Hedgehog, like because he moves so quickly and it's like all over the place. And it's a bit like that really. Like he just moves so fast. Like I just can't keep up. Like I literally have no idea what's going on. But like in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Not like in a what's going on. Like oh my god, there's just so much going on. I can't even comprehend it.
Yeah. So Cody has now got his name back. He is now Cody Rhodes once again. Justin Robert, why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not looking at anything.
Are you giving me like a bear stare, like Paddington or something? Yeah, Justin Roberts gives a nice, announcement for that. Well, announcing Cody's name.
Must be nice to have your own name back.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it must be a bit weird. Your dad, your brother, and your wife having the same surname, but you're just Cody.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the match, Darby Allin slaps Cody around the back of the head, and Cody looks pretty fuming, really.
Yeah. I've got Cody throws Darby outside the ring, and that just looks so brutal. And then there's like quite a few brutal submission moves by Cody in the middle of the ring. Like he just seems to like bend Darby into like he's just. I mean, I'm not very good with the whole remembering all the names of everything, but just into these like weird like positions. Like it just looks awful. The way that Darby can move and it just. How he doesn't tap out was absolutely beyond me. Really sure that could be a little bit wrong. A springboard off the top rope, but Cody counters into an arm lock. Then Cody on the second rope with Darby does like a power bomb or like slams him onto the middle of the ring. That looks brutal. Then Darby gets into the corner and pulls off the middle ring buckle, and then Cody ends up running into it. And then commentary really start pushing that Cody isn't staying focused. And Anna's has to like keep him focused. Like, no, stop doing that. I don't know if you noticed. So he sort of like gets a bit distracted with things and like doesn't go to pin him when he should be pinning him and stuff like that. So that's like the commentary's really putting over. The last crossroads off the top rope. And then Cody goes for the pin.
You just said it like it was nothing.
What?
The crossroads from the top row.
Okay.
You're just like, and he did one of the biggest moves of the pay-per-view, but we'll just like fly by it.
I didn't mean to fly by it. So then Cody Rhodes does a last crossroads off the top rope, and it's fantastic.
I thought it looked really good.
I'm not saying it would look really good.
You just kind of like said it in like a passing comment, like.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make it a passing comment.
Like you're asking someone if they wanted a biscuit or something.
Anyway, fantastic move. And then Cody goes to the pin, but Darby's arm's under the rope. And at first you think that the ref isn't going to see it. And even you popped for it, didn't you? You were like, his arm's under the rope. But then the ref picks it up.
Yeah, even though to be honest, I didn't want Darby. I did really like Darby Allin when I first started watching AEW, but I'm kind of not as like bothered about him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it is good that they're putting over, like, a new character, like in a way, like an AEW original.
Yeah.
Considering, like, most past former champions have been WWE champions, so it's good for, like, an original AEW, wrestler to win.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the result.
And then after the last crossroads off the top of the rope, which is fantastic, an amazing move, Cody then picks up Darby and puts him on his back. No, sorry. Let me start that again. Darby goes onto Cody's back and tries to get like a sleeper hold in, but he just hasn't got enough to get that sleeper, to get that arm around and get that really locked in. And then Cody climbs up onto the top rope and like just slams backwards, just absolutely like killing Darby. And then Darby gets a coffin drop in, and then they start doing like roll ups back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and Darby Allin wins with a roll up. Really surprised there. Wasn't that how I thought it was going to finish with a roll up?
Well, I think it was they kind of did it because someone kind of protect Cody in his loss.
Yeah, I suppose. So anyway, once.
Because like the story going, because there wasn't really a lot of build up to this match really. The kind of the build in one sense was Cody saying that he got down with this job when no one else wanted to give him a job, and so that's why and then now Cody's presenting the championship to.
Yeah, I was gonna say because then Cody gets on one knee, doesn't he? He passes the title to Darby, and the fans are chanting, "You deserve it!" And then Cody raises his arm, and then whilst this is happening, Taz comes out with his orange hat on.
Yeah, I did like this, but we'll talk about some of the bits later. But I did kind of feel like they tried too hard to get everyone on the show. In one sense, you had Taz coming down, and then obviously Cage and Starks come out. Then later on, you've got Dustin and QT Marshall. They do a backstage promo. Lance Archer does a backstage promo. Then Miro and the best friends, they have a backstage segment. It's just why can't you just save some of this for Dynamite? You don't need
yeah,
you don't
need everything.
Yeah, but back to obviously what's happening now.
So Taz comes out and he's chatting away you don't deserve this and blah blah blah, and then Ricky Starks, Brian Cage come and attack Cody and Darby from behind. Cage carries Darby out the ring.
Yeah, but there was a bit of a tease in the ring, wasn't there, where both Cage and Starks pick up the TNT title.
I must have missed that.
So. Oh yeah, so they both pick up the title, and Taz is I'll just leave it. Don't boys, don't fight over that. Now we'll take care of business first.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Good, it draws your attention in.
Do you like that?
So yeah, they throw Darby Allin through the set. It looked kind of like a fixed light set.
Yeah. That was how I knew that the set had changed, just from that light.
And then they chuck him on the car, and it looks like they're going to break his arm slamming the door.
Yeah.
Into his arm, but then Will Hobbs runs down and chases him away with a chair. So yeah, that was the end of that segment.
Then goes into a backstage segment with QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. Yeah,
so they challenge the Butcher and the Blade to a bunkhouse match.
What's a bunkhouse match?
I'm pretty sure it's just like a street fight, really, but it's like a different name.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to do them in WCW, which I'm sure WWE just found a trademark over bunkhouse or something. So I don't understand. Maybe it's the words, but in a different context or something. I don't understand, but I'm sure.
I think they're just really pushing the boundaries.
I don't know. So yeah, that's that. They also announced it's going to be Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix on Dynamite having another match. Obviously they had the match in the Eliminator tournament where Rey Fenix beat Pentagon, but then got injured in the match. That's why Rey did not fight Kenny Omega in the semi-final. So next up it is Hakarashida against Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero in her corner. So the video package before this match, Taz is on the video package and he says Hakarashida has made the AEW's women division.
Yeah.
What division? What has she made?
Yeah.
She is the division because she's the only well, not star, but yeah.
Yeah,
what is there else to say, right?
It is a real shame, isn't it, that the women's division it's pretty much non-existent. It just seems to be thrown as a last thought almost, isn't it?
Yeah, like an afterthought.
It is like an afterthought. It's we have to have women on the show, otherwise people kick off.
The build to this match was Nyla Rose wouldn't have a match until she got a AEW Women's title match. So Hakarashida told her she would give her a title match, and then the next week she had a match on Dynamite anyway. It's I thought you weren't going to have a match until you had your Women's title match.
Yeah, so it's a real shame because I think they're doing so well in everything else, which is fantastic, but why can't they pick it up here? It's not as if they haven't got the talent, do you know what I mean?
I think they're missing like a big woman's name to help her division. That's what I think they're missing.
Okay.
Maybe.
Fair enough.
If they could get someone like Tessa Blanchard, who's not wrestling at the moment, maybe she could help. Or I mean, really, they need like. Obviously, they're not going to get these people, but like a Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, or someone like that. They need, in my opinion, or just try and build a division around someone. Like, I reckon if they put the title on Britt Baker, she could do it.
Yeah, why is Britt Baker not in the title picture?
No idea. Okay. Maybe because they're the struggle with the women's division and she's doing something good by herself. Maybe they're just letting her have this, trying to have in two good parts instead of one really good part. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
But I mean, obviously, I don't know, but that's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah.
But even if we could get like we said before about like Impact Wrestling, maybe they have such a good women's division over there.
Get one of the knockouts over.
Yeah, if they could get like a Jordan Grace or a Sue Young or Rosemary, I think just them three have more star power over 90% of the AEW's women's division.
Yeah. Be interested to see what happens with that.
Well, if anything does happen.
Yeah, that's true.
But going into the match, Nyla Rose is working over Hakarashida's knee quite a lot. She does like a knee drop from the top rope onto the back of Hakarashida's knee. And then Shida does like a missile drop kick to her on the outside, which looked pretty naff, shall we say. And then there's another one in the ring, which looked a lot better. I don't know. I kind of thought like if you're gonna do one in the ring anyway, why do a one that looks crap on the outside? Unless she did one in the ring to try and make up for it.
She probably did. Yeah, she probably did the one on the outside. Though, oh god, that was awful. Let's do it in the ring, and then hopefully that will look better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Nyla Rose does a powerbomb to Shida. So like a powerbomb, but when she goes down to her knees, I did think it's not really like the best way to do a powerbomb. I don't think.
Yeah. Hakarashida gets a suplex, doesn't she? She suplexes Nyla Rose. I think that must give you some some serious strength. She's quite a small ass herself, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah. Then there's a Falcon Arrow drop off the rope, which was pretty good to be fair. Hakarashida.
So at one point, Nyla Rose goes for a pin. I think she did a running knee, didn't she? And then following it to 3, she like lifts her head up, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then after the avalanche Falcon Arrow, Hakarashida does the same thing. She goes to pin Nyla Rose, and then she lifts her head up.
That was it's good, but it didn't really make a lot of sense.
No, I'm just to give them the play. You can. I think they're trying to build a bit of a story really there, but for me, it didn't really.
Trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, and then Vicky gets involved, doesn't she?
We've not said the finish yet.
Doesn't Vicky get involved? To get to the finish.
Sorry. Go on.
Vicky interferes, and then she gets like attacked or something.
So Vicky gets a kendo stick, and the referee takes it off her.
Yeah.
So causes like a distraction.
That's it. That's what I was looking for.
Falcon Arrow, and then Tomoshida knees, and then Hakarashida is still your AEW Women's Champion.
Yep. So overall, not like a bad match, but it's just that there was no build to it, and I think there definitely could have been more to it.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do another Thunder Rosa, Hakarashida match, but Thunder Rosa lost the title to Serena Deeb, NWA Women's title, so I'm not really sure, like what's going on there really.
Yeah.
But like even like bringing her in full time would make so much sense because apparently, they like said to her, like she said in an interview, she's just sat by the phone waiting for AEW to get in contact.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Yeah.
So yeah, why just have talent there and not use it? Like I just
don't know. Yeah. It's strange. So from there it goes right on to the FTR versus the Young Bucks match. I don't think there was a backstage segment, or am I missing something?
Yeah, you are actually. Yeah. So after the match, Vicky Guerrero gets in the ring
Right.
and starts shouting at Nyla Rose.
Oh yeah, they fall out. Sorry.
And Vicky just calls her pathetic and slaps her. And I thought Nyla Rose was gonna do something like
Brutal.
but she didn't. She just watched her walk away.
Which then makes Nyla Rose look a little bit. Yeah, she just lost, and then she's been slapped by a manager, and then she's not done anything.
Yeah, I think it is a bit too soon in their partnering to show cracks in the wall. Should you say?
Yeah, because like they've only August. That's when Vicky came in, and I know it's November, so it's been a few months, but really now they've not been on television, have they? Since
no, really, they've been showing the crowd a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't really into this women's match, but by the end, they did draw me in a little bit. But I do think, I don't want to contradict myself, but I do think like if like a Britt Baker come out and just like walked up to Shida and been like, "I'm taking that title," and just walked out. I know I am contradicting myself saying you don't need everyone on the card, but like just try and build something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the next match is, like I said, FTR against the Young Bucks. But before that, I'd just like to say, if this is your first time listening to the Man on the White podcast, please subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you enjoy what you're listening to, and make sure you check out the other content out on the channel. So this rivalry has been a bit messy leading up. Young Bucks were faces, then they turned a bit heelish, and now I think they're faces again. The Young Bucks attacking cameramen and announcers and stuff backstage. I wasn't really into that.
I didn't really get that.
Wasn't really into that at all.
You know, like, why do you need to attack?
It just seems a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Love Tony Schiavone as well when the double super kicked him. It's just like, what are you doing?
Tony Schiavone seems to take one for the team quite often, doesn't he?
Yeah. Are you going back to the
Baker stuff?
Yeah, the 40-year-old version spot.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So yeah, in this match there was a lot of.
This was the longest match on the card, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this match was 28 minutes 35 seconds. I'll just give you a quick recap of the other matches. So we did say at the beginning the Hangman and Page mega match was 16:25. The John Silver Cassidy match was 9 minutes 40. The Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin match was exactly 17 minutes, and Hakarashida and Nyla Rose was 14 minutes and 10 seconds. So yeah, this was the longest match on the card. It was 28 minutes 35 seconds. So this match was kind of like based on FTR and the Young Bucks doing like their favorite tag teams moves mainly.
Yeah.
You know, the FTR did like the heart attack and the Steiner Brothers bulldog in this match, whereas the Young Bucks did like the 3D and
the Twist of Fate,
into a Swanton Bomb.
A lot of mind games. You know, FTR were trying to play a lot of mind games, weren't they, in this match?
Yeah, quite early on in the match, Dax goes to punch Matt, and he moves and he punches the ring post, which plays a big part into the match.
Yeah, I like that AEW do this, don't they? They like sort of
work over a body part more than WWE.
Yeah, and they put a story in the match itself. So like, obviously there's a story going into the match, and then in the match there's also a story, which I quite like.
Yeah. So FTR used DIY's finishing move in this match as well, like kind of like paying tribute to their rivalry in NXT with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep.
Don't know if you picked that up in the match.
Of course I didn't.
I did kind of think though there was too many like past wrestler moves in this match, just because and like when they kept on kicking out as well, it kind of like buries certain moves.
Yeah.
Like especially like the 3D. I think like only I think Chris Sabin in the Motor City Machine Guns like kicked out of that, and I think that might be the only person that's ever kicked out of it. And then here they just do it like it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I know you could say, well, it's not the Dudley Boys doing it, so they perform the move the right way and hit it as as good, but I kind of do think it does diminish the moves a bit.
I did enjoy though. So contradicting what you're gonna say is when they had the sharpshooter, Young Bucks with the sharpshooter on, one in the ring and one on the ramp. I quite enjoyed that move.
Yeah, I was just gonna get into that there. I did actually think they might have tapped as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like the.
No, I thought that one outside was going to tap.
Ah.
Do you know what I mean? But the one inside wasn't. So it was like, one's tapping, the other's not. Do you know what I mean?
But the sharpshooter is another move that kind of annoys me a little bit, just because I think lots of these wrestlers now all grew up watching Sting and Bret Hart, so they all want to do the move. But it's never actually, like, everyone does it, but no one wins with it.
Yeah.
Maybe apart from Natalia, because that actually is their finishing move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is just like it's a bit like the Canadian Destroyer. Everyone does it, but hardly anyone ever wins a match with it. So yeah, when the double sharpshooter is locked in, you kind of think like, well, if they're not going to tap, how are they going to get out of it? Well, Matt Jackson's leg gives out because he's been working over his leg in the match.
Yep.
And he has been having leg issues on Dynamite, and in real life, I do believe he's actually like proper injured. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a long reign. Spoilers: the Young Bucks win this match. So Matt brings a chair into the ring, but he doesn't use it. It sets up for a Meltzer driver there. But then Cash grabs Nick and powerbombs him onto a table, which kind of just slid off the table, didn't it? Like, he didn't go through the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if they were going for that or what, but yeah. Then Spike power drive from FTR, but it was a rope break. Then the inverted figure four from Dax Harwood. Then Nick Jackson
does a 450 splash to break up a submission that was in the ring.
Yeah.
We both popped at that. That was really good, wasn't it? And then...
no, it was the next one that I popped for.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The next one which Sean popped for, the husband...
Oh, you've been really well in this podcast, aren't you? Say my real name. Don't speak in the intro. Your phone goes off.
Anyway.
Your food order comes.
Cash really gets a springboard 450, but nobody's home. Then Matt Jackson.
You just said, look, you keep on just calling these spots like they don't mean anything. That was like Cash Wheeler doing that. Like, I proper popped for that. I did not see him performing a move like that. I thought it was really good. Obviously, he misses it. Super kick from Matt Jackson. There is new tag team champions.
Am I allowed to speak, or am I not giving enough enthusiasm?
It's not even enthusiasm. It's just like I don't know. You just don't see the importance of these big moments.
I do see. I did say, as I was reading before I read it out, I said that these are, I did say that we pop for them. Yeah, but
you said the wrong one.
Well, you pop. I pop for both, so just because I enjoy them all much.
Yeah,
more.
But I've seen Nick Jackson do 450 splashes loads of times. I don't think I've ever seen Cash Wheeler hit. Well, he didn't hit this one, but he did perform the move just not onto an actual person.
Yeah. And then Omega comes.
Omega.
Omega comes down to the ring to celebrate, and something that you pointed out that I had noticed actually.
And I don't even think the commentary team say anything neither.
No, I don't think they did. But Paige is lurking in the entranceways and you're watching them.
Looking like left out and alone.
Yeah,
looks really good.
Oh, one thing we didn't talk about actually with the opening match was about the if Paige is doing an interview and he said if he loses all, he's got his glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where they take that. I wonder if it did.
I do think the money is in Omega winning the title, and then Paige, Queen drinking, coming sober, and winning the title off Omega.
Is that your prediction?
It's more of a hope, which is funny because I didn't really know a lot of Hangman and Paige when I first started watching AEW. When it was him and Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship in the first ever title match. Kind of wasn't really that into it just because I didn't really know Hangman and Paige, and it was clear that Jericho was winning. But kind of now when I rewatch that match, now I'm a bigger Adam Page fan. I would say he's one of my top 5 in AEW.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's probably the women's division is one pick. Obviously, that's a jerk.
He's so funny.
You brought the eyes. No, but I'd say my top 5 maybe be Page, Kingston now, Brody Lee, Jericho. Do I have a 5th? Maybe only
I thought you were going to say Britt Baker.
No.
He's on the spot now, guys. He's
really
thinking.
I'm really thinking Cody.
Okay. Do I have to give my top 5?
I just thought you might say, I like
well, my top 5.
X, Y, and Z. You have to pick a top 5. I already know your favourite one is anyway. It's Orange Cassidy.
Yes. Orange Cassidy, I like Sammy Guerrero.
Sammy Guerrero?
Guerrero? What?
Guevara.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's Guerrero.
No.
Yeah. I like him too then.
So Orange Cassidy, Sammy Guerrero, and Sammy Guevara.
Shut up.
Have you got 2 more?
I like Britt Baker. No, I'm going to stick with those 3.
So top 3.
Top 3.
So I did think at the end of this match, if this was a WWE match, and these new guys that have been champions somewhere else came in, and then lost to like the. So obviously, like Kenny, Cody, and the Bucks are like AEW diehards, aren't they? Like they're like behind the scenes involved in stuff. So if this happened in WWE, and it's kind of like Sting and Triple H when Triple H beat Sting. Do you kind of feel like it felt like that, like AEW just putting themselves over the WWE people?
No.
No?
I don't. Because, it's...
No, I'm not saying I did that either, but I thought there might be an argument saying...
No, but can I just give my justification?
No. Moving on.
Shut up. No, because it's not as if the Young Bucks have had the titles, previously, and, that this is the first time that they've won the titles.
Oh, yeah, no, but it's more like...
What, who they won them off?
No, who they are and who they won them off. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I just said. Who they won them off.
Yeah, but I said who they are. And...
Yeah, well, obviously who they are, because we're not talking about anybody else. So, is it because the Young Bucks won it off FTR that you're saying that?
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't think so. I don't think there is an element of that.
Okay. I was just more saying there's an argument to be made that it could be like that. I'm not saying that's what I think.
All right, well, I'm just saying to you.
You have to get so defensive.
You are getting defensive. You're getting defensive. Shall we move on?
So the next match was a Elite Deletion match. So it's like Matt Hardy's like own match really, and it is Ultimate Deletion that he was doing in
Hardy Compound, isn't it?
Yeah. So it starts off with Sammy
Guevara.
Did you ever used to watch the Amanda Show on Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
And there was like this kid that was meant to be like a mob boss, and he was called Pajamas, but everyone used to say it wrong. I'm like, Pajamas. No.
Okay, no.
You make me feel that's like the way you kind of like saying his name.
So sorry. I do it to my students as well, to be fair. Pronounce their names wrong all the time. Just saying. So anyway, Sammy arrives on a golf buggy. So
do you know why he arrived on a golf buggy?
No.
So when Matt Hardy
sorry, I'm going to cut you off here.
Matt Hardy and Kenny
Omega... No, I want to cut you off here. I feel like this match has so much context in it, and I just don't get any of it.
Right.
So keep going, tell me.
So Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega run over Sammy in a golf cart when they did that backstage match.
Oh, and then there's the golf cart on the...
No, that was after that. For the first one, like, they run him over, but it looks like Sammy's head bounces off. It looks really good. And then at the Stampede match, he gets chased by one as well.
Yeah. So he arrives on one, and then he drives over like a kid's toy, doesn't he?
Yeah. So,
and then the drone, the drone got a name, hasn't it?
V-Guard 1.
Yeah,
I think that's
something
right.
like that, and it projects like an image of Matt, doesn't it? And he's like, "Welcome to here," and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So I did think this was a really hard match to take notes for.
I did enjoy when Matt drives up in his massive what are they called?
Monster truck.
That's the one, monster truck. And it goes to run over Sammy, and Sammy's trying to get his golf cart to move, and it doesn't move.
Yeah, that was quite funny, yeah.
That was funny.
So saying that this was hard to make notes, my next note says, "Oh God, G Gick." What, I don't know what that's meant to mean.
Okay. So Sammy hits, the match sort of starts with Sammy hitting Matt with a bin from behind. And then they sort of make their way over towards the actual wrestling ring that they have in the back garden. Every kid's dream. And then Ortiz and Sander turn up, don't they? And they start attacking Matt.
Ortiz and who?
Oh no, I pronounced it.
You said Santa. Ortiz and Santa.
I didn't say Santa.
Yes, you did.
I did not say Santa.
What did you say then?
Sander. No, I didn't. No, I'm saying it wrong.
You said Santa again.
Shut up.
Santana. What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
So, breaking news here. Santa Claus is part of the inner circle.
Oh, be quiet. Be quiet.
So, powerbomb through the table in the ring, inner circle, attack. Then you see Private Party going to show up. So, at the beginning of it, you see Matt Hardy on the phone saying, well, some people have his back. It was clearly going to be Private Party anyway.
Yeah, there wasn't a phone. It was a walkie-talkie, wasn't it?
What, same thing?
It's not the same thing.
Well, it is really, isn't it?
It's not.
But it is really, isn't it?
Well, it's not.
But it kind of is, in a way.
But it's not.
Do you not think Private Party are too similar to the Street Profits?
Yeah, too.
Even, like, why are they wearing... I know, like, Street Profits now on SmackDown anyway, so they don't really have to wear red, but, like, you're just wearing, like, their red tracksuits. It's like... We've seen the Street Profits wear red for so long. Like, at least make your own colour.
Yeah. There's lots of colours out there.
So,
in a circle of Private Party, they start fighting in the ring, don't they? And then Matt gets fireworks from underneath the ring. And whilst Private Party and Inner Circle are fighting, Sammy and Matt are like, in opposite bunkers, firing fireworks at each other. And then the next sort of thing you see is that Matt's firing fireworks at Sammy as he's running away. And I just thought, how dangerous is that?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like a really boring old person. I was like, think about giving people ideas.
I don't know if you noticed, but when they were shooting the fireworks at each other, you could see in the ring that Ortiz was laid down and Santana was laid on top of him, protecting him.
No, I didn't.
I thought that was quite funny.
Did not see it.
Because, like, on the other segments, obviously Ortiz got chucked into the pool that was only made 5 foot of water, and he was like panicking he was going to drown because he couldn't swim and stuff. And do you remember when the orange juice fell down and he was complaining he was going to drown and stuff? I just thought, it's quite funny here that Ortiz is scared and Santana's protecting him.
Yeah.
Like, how underused are Santana and Ortiz?
Yeah, they are really good, aren't they? So from there, this is what the next bit of the match. There's just loads of context about other things going on that I had no idea.
Yeah, well, even I don't remember some of it, to be honest.
So I'll let you take the reins on this bit.
Well, there's like Sammy gets like covered in mud, like he's like crawling, covered in mud and stuff, and then like they get towards the Lake of Reincarnation. So you didn't know what the Lake of Reincarnation was, did you?
No.
So it's it's like a cleansing thing. So when Matt and Jeff had their Ultimate Deletion match, he chucked Jeff into it, and he like changed to like the heel Jeff Hardy and Brother Nero and all these other people.
Right. Okay.
So I was trying to think of a better example, but not one's coming to mind.
But then,
so randomly, there's a Hurricane Shane Helms there with Gangrel. So I do believe, can't remember if it was obviously not the Halloween that's just been, but Halloween before, they did like a special on WWE Network, like a Hardy special Halloween thing, and the Hurricane got like kidnapped at the end. So I kind of feel like this was Matt finishing that by saying, like, showing Gangrel having him and him being there.
Yeah, and then Hurricane was like, "What's taking you so long?"
Yeah, you've left me here for 2 years.
Yeah, and Matt was like, "Oh, it's long-term storytelling."
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was funny.
So Sammy blocks a twist of fate, and then the Hurricane gets thrown into the lake. So then he gets like reincarnated into so you won't know this, but when the Hurricane was like the Hurricane superhero, he was like...
I like to find out, as John said, the superhero, he did a little superhero move.
Keep on saying my name.
Oh, the husband. The man, that's who you are.
Yeah, well, you can't say Hurricane without doing
the Hurricane arms.
So, like, it would be like a backstage announcer like Dasha or Renee Young.
Yeah.
Like, and be all that attire. But then, like, he'd, like, go and be the Hurricane. So, like, Superman, Clark Kent kind of thing.
Yeah, I get that.
So, like, he got reincarnated into Gregory Helms, the announcer. So I do think that was quite like a good little bit.
I did like once you've explained it to me, I do like it, but obviously you have to be somebody who knows about this stuff to get it. Do you know what I mean? Like I do appreciate it, but unfortunately I didn't watch wrestling back in those times, so I didn't really know. I didn't quite get how funny it was, if that makes sense. So after that, the next sort of big thing is that Sammy and Matt get locked in like a garage, I suppose it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sammy's choking Matt with the ropes, and then he goes up top and hits like a swanton off the top of the ladder.
Yeah, so Matt's on a table, and Sammy goes to the top of a ladder and then does a swanton bomb.
But then like I kind of thought he shouldn't have kicked out of that. Really, I thought it was too much of a big move to kick out of, especially when it's like his brother's move as well. Like, it's not like I know like we've seen Jeff do that plenty of times to people. But they were more like in table and ladders and chairs.
But Sammy did it, so what, you thought that Sammy should have won?
I feel like there should have been somewhere to protect the move more, maybe.
Okay, fair enough.
I think just like the like moves don't really mean as much as they used to, in one sense. You know, like when when Austin gave someone a stunner, like you knew, shit, they're probably not going to get up from this, or like a rock bottom or a pedigree and things like that. Whereas now, just people just seem to like kick out of anything really.
Yeah, fair enough. So then Sammy starts bleeding.
Oh my days!
And Matt starts getting with head. Oh god!
What are you saying? What did you just say?
I don't know.
It sounded like you said Matt was trying to give Sammy head.
No, Matt is doing chair shots to the head. Yes, he gets 2 or 3, I think, doesn't he? Some pretty brutal looking ones. And then he pins it.
Yeah, so there was like a chair shot to the head because when they first started their feud on Dynamite, Sammy threw the chair at Matt and busted him open, so that's kind of what you call the receipt for that. But I do kind of think that the noise was like programmed in and he didn't really hit him that hard. And then there was like a chair on the floor. Matt wins. Did kind of think though, which obviously I didn't think this in the main event, but when you saw Matt just like brutally hit him with a chair, I thought, is that something you really want kids watching?
Yeah. And fireworks.
I don't know. The chair, I think it's more because of the sound that they piped in with it. I just thought, and like it's easier to hit someone with a chair than get a load of fireworks and set them off at each other, isn't there?
I suppose.
Well, where are kids going to get fireworks from?
I don't know. 16-year-olds, how old do you have to be to buy fireworks?
18.
Yeah, does that stop kids from drinking and smoking? Right, moving on before we have an argument about that.
Okay. I was going to say, actually, it must be pretty crap for, like, I know there's only 1,000 people in the live crowd anyway, but, like, watching this live in the arena, like, on a screen must have been pretty,
grim.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then they put Sammy in the bin and take him out to the car. There's Senor Benjamin in the car, and
they drive off.
Yeah, he says, take this obsolete rubbish. He said another one at the beginning, didn't he? But I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, he said, maybe that was the little, that must have been that thing that I couldn't work out what I'd said. It must have been what Matt had said.
Right.
Damn it.
Okay, that was really good.
Why you say it like that? It was really good.
No, I meant your notes.
And then you see Matt's wife, Rebby, playing the piano at the end of the scene. Segment scene. It felt more like a scene. But no, I did think it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. For it to be a
cinematic match.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. Thought it was a good one.
Yeah, well, Matt.
There wasn't too much cinematic in it. It was
but like Matt is, in my eyes, Matt is kind of like the inventor of these kind of things. Really, like maybe if it wasn't Matt doing them in like Impact, maybe we'd never got the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania and things like that.
Yeah.
Which is probably like the I know it wasn't really a match, but it was probably like
one of the most creative thing.
Yeah, the most creative one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So next there was a promo from Lance Archer saying he was going to kill everyone, which, yeah, am I right?
Yeah.
Like I said before, it's just a way to get them on the show, innit? Which, yeah, we spoke about that anyway. So next up it is MJF against Chris Jericho. There was no timestamp for the Ultimate Deletion match. Sorry, the Elite Deletion match. So we don't know how long that went. So Jericho MJF. If MJF wins, he and Warlord are part of the Inner Circle. Before we get to the match, if you are enjoying this podcast, if you could please press the like button, it does really help, and let us know in the comments what you thought, and also check out the other content out on the channel. So MJF comes to the ring, and you think it might be Jericho because he's got the lighted up jacket on.
Yeah.
And then you see it is MJF, and he does the little, what Jericho used back in the day with his elbow and stuff. Then Jericho comes to the ring. The crowd are singing Judas. There's quite a few fans in the crowd not wearing the mask properly, and it's just thought there's only 1,000 of you here.
Yeah.
And it must be a rule to come in, you have to wear your mask properly. It's I don't know, I just thought, surely, why can't you just wear a mask for 4 hours? Properly? Is that such a big ask?
No, I don't think it is, but...
I have to wear my mask for 12 hours a day at work, and I don't like it, but I still do it. It's the rules. It's to keep people safe. It's for all the right reasons.
Yeah. Hey ho, people have their different opinions. I agree with you, but it's just silly, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't know if you noticed, but in this match, Chris Jericho seems to be wrestling more of a baby face, a good guy. Okay.
Which is somewhat I don't think we've not really seen of Jericho in AEW yet, which I thought was, felt a bit strange, really. Excalibur said a really good line. So they're talking about Jericho and MJF, and Excalibur says, "Yeah, even MJF's parents have mixed feelings about him." That did make me chuckle.
That's commentary.
Yeah. So you see Jericho's beating MJF down on the outside, and takes the camera off the cameraman, and flicks off even MJF with the camera. So I'm sure he did that with his match with Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
In New Japan, I just thought that was a
good spot.
A good spot, yeah. Also, Jericho later on in the match, he pulls Aubrey Edwards in front.
Oh yeah, and she's like, "Don't touch me."
No, that was the second time. So this is the first time.
Right.
He pulls Aubrey in front and pokes MJF in the eye. Then later on, MJF does it to throw Jericho to the outside.
I like sort of the way that MJF sort of does those dirty moves and
he's like a proper heel.
He's a proper old school heel. I like that. Yeah.
Jericho does you probably will have seen in the old days. You used to put your opponent on the top rope and punch him 10 times in the head.
Yeah.
Some of that people don't really do a lot anymore. So he does 9 punches and hits a Frankensteiner off the top rope. So that is more like a Hurricane Rana, but off the top rope in a way, but a sat down one.
Yep.
That was pretty good. Then into the Walls of Jericho. Jericho's matches, he does do this bit quite a few times, and it's not really. I don't really think it's a good bit where he acts like he's won, but he hasn't won, and he's saying to the referee he tapped out, and she's like, no. It's that's something. He does quite a few matches, and it's a bit eh.
Yeah.
So I thought anyway. So next was the MJF spot where we just talked about. So he threw Jericho to the outside, back in. He hits a code breaker. Then the Planet Sinker, I think it's called, his move in the ropes.
No idea. I'm not very good at naming moves.
But that was only a 2 count.
Yep.
Also, I kind of wrote this down in my notes, which I should have done. I did. I missed it off. So early on in the match, Jericho went to do the Judas effect on MJF, but he moved and he hit the ring post. So MJF is working over, the arm part of the match.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bit similar to what they did in the Unputs match with
just like to say that.
Wood's hand, which is strange because you don't normally see that spot a lot, and then
for it to happen twice
in the same pay-per-view.
Is probably a bit much, isn't it?
But in one sense, it could be more giving it a real feel.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have done it if it was my wrestling company. So towards the end of the match, Warlord comes down.
It passes.
Yeah, my phone has spell checked it to wardrobe. So MJF gets his ring off wardrobe.
And then
Jake Hager throws Jericho his back,
doesn't he? And then this is the bit that I liked. So Warlow is distracting the ref, and Jericho's got his bat up and he's thinking about hitting MJF, and MJF just lays on the floor, and it's like
Eddie Guerrero.
That's the one.
Not Sammy Guerrero.
Shut up.
Eddie Guerrero.
So yeah, and then Aubrey turns around and she obviously just assumes that
Jericho's him.
Yeah. But then
roll up, MJF wins.
Yeah.
And he has the tights as well. So going back to the ring spot where Waller throws the ring in, I did think when MJF won the ring, like in the early days of AEW, I thought, and I kind of, if it was WWE, it would have won the ring and it had it for 4 weeks and then you never see it again. Like I think it's good. Like a year later, they're still using it as like a proper weapon, or it's not just being forgotten about.
Part of his character,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, I do think that's really good. So yeah, at the end, MJF now has joined the Inner Circle. They do have a handshake at the end, and all happy dappy, really.
Yeah, it all seems like it's all roses.
Wardrobe and JK didn't seem very happy. So yeah. Next up, the backstage segment, it was Dasha interviewing Orange Cassidy, but it gets interrupted quite quickly with Miro and Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford showing up saying that Kip wants an apology.
Yeah.
For Penelope Ford. Orange says sorry and then Kip slaps him.
And they walk away.
It's like, this could have happened on Dynamite.
Yeah,
like,
this was no need for this at all, was there?
Like I said before, it was just getting people on the show. Wasn't really any need for it. But next,
we are into
the main event. Eddie Kingston and Moxley, the I Quit match. The MJF and Chris Jericho match did go 16 minutes and 10 seconds. Just I'll point that out. So like I said at the beginning, I was so excited for this match. Like I thought about it all week. It's very rare that things like that happen like these days.
Yeah. I didn't realise you were that excited for it.
Oh yeah.
You never really mentioned it.
Oh, like
all week.
Yeah, I was gutted. I thought the pay-per-view was on last week, and I was gutted when I realised it wasn't.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, last Saturday, AEW tonight, and then like, oh shit, it's next week.
So I'm just gonna say for the match stats, I love what Kingston's been doing in AEW, and I was really sort of like,
I think
backing on him to win.
Both of us, which is kind of like rare, really, when we first saw Eddie Kingston together for the first time. We were both so intrigued with him straight away.
We don't usually like the same things when it comes to wrestling.
Especially that first thing.
Yeah, that's true. Although what I didn't like about Eddie Kingston this time around was his gear. Don't like the metallic silver.
I
didn't really think it suited his character.
Did put in my notes, it is a bit like the Spirit Squad attire.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could have been.
But I don't know. You probably won't know this because you won't listen to the podcast. But so when Kingston went into lockdown, he was actually in the UK, and he needed to get back home. And so I think he ended up selling his ring gear to be able to come back to the US and wrestle. So it's kind of like someone that's come from nothing. So in a way, it's nice to see that he's been able to buy new attire, considering he had to sell his old attire to pay his mortgage over lockdown and get home and things.
Yeah, fair enough. So going into the match then? Yeah, so
going to watching the video package, just like I was getting chills watching this video package. That doesn't happen neither. I like a lot.
Like a little kid again.
Yeah, like a little kid again. Like I was so into it, especially when like Kingston's saying, when I win this title, I'm going to show my mum. That's why I shouldn't have any grandkids. This is why I shouldn't have a daughter-in-law, because this is the most important thing in the world. Like that was just giving me like proper chills. Like every wrestler should be saying,
so passionate.
Like saying stuff like that. Like it just made, like I did say this later on in my notes, but like this just felt like so real. Like
yeah, that you could tell how passionate these two are, especially Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. I probably think this is the most close with his Brody Lee match, but the most I've enjoyed a John Moxley match since he's been in AEW.
Okay.
So
going into the match, are we going to start the match off?
Oh yeah. I was just about to say, I just want to know if you were going to say something about the video package again before I started talking.
No, you keep talking.
So Justin Roberts is such a good ring announcer. I don't know why WWE ever let him go unless he left on his own accord, obviously. Just the way he says John Moxley's name, like it's Jan.
It's probably like a growl almost, isn't it?
Yeah. Like when he used to do the Undertakers in WWE, like there was just no one better in my opinion. I did think when the referee held up the AEW Championship, I thought this is just the opposite of the Women's Championship. Like the men's AEW title is just such a
prestigious
title and looks so good, whereas the
women's just hasn't got that same element, got that same elevation.
I get that they tried to make it a bit more like traditional, like an old style women's title, but it just doesn't fit them all at all.
No.
So yeah, the match starts. There's a nice dive from Moxley to Kingston on the outside. Throws a chair at Kingston's face. There's a nice suplex on the when they're battling on the outside in where there normally would be crowds, but there's just like concrete. Yeah. Obviously, there's concrete. It wasn't grass; it was concrete.
And then Eddie Kingston starts throwing chairs into the ring, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then Moxley
gets his barbed wire bat.
Yeah.
So you don't really like this kind of like wrestling.
No. So at this point, it's like kind of not I shut off, but like I don't want to watch it. I just can't. It just makes me want to be sick. To be honest.
I didn't mind this match, but there is some matches like sometimes they get like forks and like cheese graters out and things like that. I'm not really into like that, but like there's nothing really in this match that made me feel that uncomfortable.
Oh, I felt uncomfortable as soon as I saw the bat. I felt uncomfortable.
It was tearing the bat into Kingston's face, but there wasn't like a lot of blood. Like Moxley's been busted open by this point. I didn't actually catch where he got busted open. I don't know if it was. I think it might have been maybe the throw of the chair shot, but I'm not sure. But Kingston didn't really bleed a lot. I thought like that was going to bust him open real good, but it didn't. I don't know. Like if it planted blade and it didn't work properly or what, but I just think Kingston would have been more bloody than he actually was.
Yeah, then Eddie Kingston gets some of the barbed wire from the mat, doesn't he? The bat, sorry, and wraps around his hand and starts punching Moxley. I've actually got written next to that note, I actually can't watch this.
Yeah, and then Moxley just delivers like a slap, but it just sounded so stiff. Like when people say like wrestling's predetermined.
You guys said the F word.
No, it wasn't. Like that, you could just hear that. There was no like that was like full slap. There's no
and then Moxley does a suplex up to Eddie Kingston to chairs, isn't he?
Yeah, that looked brutal as well.
And like the way he landed was so stiff. I just thought, oh god, you're gonna be sore in the morning.
Like Kingston just starts like laughing at one point, like the Joker. I did think.
Yeah,
like,
you just think, oh god, you must be twisted.
Like he'd be so good against, like I don't know, like an ultimate. I know like John Moxley is meant to be a babyface, but like an ultimate babyface, like I don't know. I don't want to say like a John Cena, but like I'm trying to think like he was like a really pure babyface in AEW, and all I can think of is Jungle Boy really, but I don't think that's a good example. But I do think he could be like this wicked like bad guy like kind of character.
That was a bit twisted. And then Eddie Kingston grabs a bag. It's like a black bag, and he's like walking around to the ring, and it's full of thumbtacks, and he pours them into a corner of the ring.
Yeah, I just think there was going to be like glass or something because he's already done tacks in one of his matches on AEW already.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been like white shot glass or something, but
I'm glad it wasn't because thumbtacks is bad enough.
Yeah. And then he hits like a belly to belly slam on Moxley into the tacks.
And then he spy like this. Then he goes back to the piece of barbed wire, doesn't he?
Yeah, but then he like say no.
Right, and then you spy like this medical alcohol, isn't it? Like what they use to clean cuts and stuff. And he pours that over Moxley's back.
Yeah. Like at first I thought, oh, he's gonna like try and set him on fire, but then I thought, oh no, he's pouring it to get into like his wounds.
Yeah,
because I was a bit like when he started pouring his back, I thought because normally you see things like that, you just assume they're gonna do something with like fire. I was like shit, like they're not gonna like set him on fire, are they?
No, but it's but you can imagine how much that would.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad. Like I wouldn't want to see John Moxley being set on fire at all.
So then Moxley gets a paradigm shift as well.
Yeah. Also, Kingston gets like the tacks and like punches them into Moxley's face.
Oh, yeah.
and then he puts Moxley in his own like bulldog choke.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like brutal. Yeah,
It is just such a brutal match, isn't it? Oh, it literally makes me want to be sick. And then it goes back to that piece of barbed wire. Now Moxley's got it this time. And he wraps it around his forearm, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think he says there's no other way.
Yeah, yeah. And then he does a bulldog choke with the barbed wire.
Yeah, and Kingston quits. Gutted, proper gutted.
Yeah,
like,
I really thought that Eddie Kingston was going to win.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You see, I didn't think he was going to win, but I think that's because that made me want him to win even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the match, Moxley helps him up, but he doesn't want the help. He like shoves him off. He doesn't want the help.
Yeah.
So before we get to Kenny Omega coming down at the end, I did kind of think like the announcers kind of lost interest a bit. Like once Moxley was like celebrating, like Tony Schiavone was like, so Kenny Omega, the next person to challenge Jon Moxley, and then like he waited, and he waited, and he waited, and like no one was like answering him, and then JR was like, oh yeah.
They're all checking their phones or something.
Yeah. I just thought, like, they just seemed like so uninterested and a bit like mumbly.
Yeah.
I was just a bit like I really do like AEW's probably got the best commentary team in wrestling, but like what there should have been more like, well, what amazing show we've seen.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Instead, there was just a bit like yeah. And then Kenny comes out and he like points to attacks and stuff, and he's like, no, like when we fight
it's
this time,
like
it's going to be
match, isn't
like
it?
a proper match. So yeah, that was AEW Full Gear. Before we go there, so there was a lot of people saying that AEW shouldn't have done this I Quit match just with WWE recently just doing one. One, I think they should not be worried about what WWE are doing.
Yeah.
Like, do your own thing. Like, concentrate on what you are doing, not about what someone else is doing. And two, the matches were completely different. Both really good. I really enjoyed Roman and Jay at Hell in a Cell. It's probably my favourite match on the card that they had as well. But yeah, I just think, concentrate what you're doing. Don't concentrate about what your competition's doing. Try and make sure your show is better. If they're doing something similar, just make sure you're doing it better.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with you actually, because there were such different I Quit matches, weren't they? Like the other one was more about like the one with Roman and Jay.
Yeah, you're right.
The way you looked at me made me think, oh god, I got it wrong there. Was more, there wasn't like that brutality in the sense of like the glass and the thumbtacks and the barbed wire.
No, it was I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it.
And it's like it was like dismantling almost. Like then where the other one was like, I want to hurt you. Like no, I want to hurt you, but like
I will do this to win the title.
Yeah,
I'll keep the title.
It was such a different. They were so different. In fact, when you said then, that people were saying they shouldn't have had two I Quit matches, like one in WWE, one in AEW. I had to think for a second, but I haven't seen a match like this. And then it clicked that actually.
Wait, it was a Hell in a Cell match. A Hell in a Cell I Quit match.
Oh, I know that, but
I know what you're saying.
But I was thinking like they were so different that I had to think for a second. Oh yeah, no, okay, I can see I see what you mean, but no, I disagree with what people are saying.
Yeah, and obviously this is an AEW review, but the Jay and Roman Reigns match, I don't think that needed to be in Hell in a Cell. I think that could have just been an I Quit match, and like a normal like a normal I Quit match. I don't think it needed the Cell to tell the story that we're selling.
Yeah.
Especially when they had two other Hell in a Cells on the same night.
Yeah.
And that is our daughter in the background.
So I feel like we should maybe start to wrap it up now.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up now. So if you did enjoy this podcast, please like this video and let us know in the comments. Next week's podcast on the show is going to be us reviewing Night of Champions 2015, where Sting challenges Seth Rollins in the main event for WWE Championship. So thank you for watching the Man
and the Wife
podcast.